Hey everybody, happy Monday. It is our Chat Daddy Sims. We are less than 30 seconds away from the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, coming to you live from the Green Room and the Red Room, where our wonderful co-host, Javonda Lynn Donegan, is in this evening. We have another great show for your viewing and listening pleasure. We have some really great news to share with you guys tonight. This show can be seen on YouTube. Yay! We finally made it to YouTube. All you have to do is go over to YouTube and go to the Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. That's the Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. You'll be able to see the show live there, as well as on demand whenever you want to see it. You can always go back and see shows there. So let me introduce our co-host this evening. She is Javonda Lynn Dunnigan. She is the woman in the green room. She is also the producer of our show tonight when it comes to our conversation later on this evening. Tonight, we're paying homage to all the graduates of the class of 2020. In no other time in history has graduation been marred by such a sad situation, but yet we're all alive. But these young people did not get to graduate the normal standards. So everybody, give it up for Javonda Lynn Dunnigan, co-host, and the woman who's putting together tonight. What's up, Javonda Lynn?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I had turned my heat off and now all of a sudden the heat had to be turned back on just for a minute.
Yeah, I know. I know. I said the same thing too. I had turned all my vents down and was like, "Oh, I'll be okay. I really don't need to put anything on." And then I'm like, "Wait a minute, it's a little
It's a
chilly
little
up in
chilly.
here.
I know, I know.
It's a little chilly up in here." But no, other than that, how was your Mother's Day?
It was great. It was great. I got my knife set. I started cooking a little bit yesterday. I made some homemade chicken noodle soup and
Oh,
use my knife set to chop up my I don't eat real I don't want to say real chicken, but it's vegetarian chicken, I guess you could say. And my mom doesn't know
okay.
the difference. So it was really good.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, I saw your beautiful knife set
Thank
on
you.
social media, and I saw you had posted a picture of you and your mom. So I'm glad it all worked out.
It
And then
did.
a lot of people yesterday did the drive-by Mother's Day
They
greetings,
sure
and I thought
did.
they were so cute. I did. I thought they were excellent. So congratulations to everybody who was able to celebrate their moms in a big way yesterday. I guess some cemeteries were open yesterday where other cemeteries were not, but people were able to also go visit the graves of their dearly beloved moms and grandmothers and motherly figures in their life. So it all worked out great.
But that was almost a big controversy because two cemeteries, people were standing out and did not know that they would be closed. Um,
Right.
and for me, I'm just like, well, why not? Why would they be closed? But I guess, cemeteries are really a busy thing for families on birthdays and holidays. And so maybe they didn't want that crowd.
Well, I don't know because I guess the black-owned cemetery, Burr Oaks, I had saw on social media where they weren't open yesterday and people were up in arms and things like that. But again, if it's a million of you all out there in the cemetery and
Right.
not properly socially distancing, and then here, if the graves are all in a row and you got a bunch of families
Hmm.
congregating about, so crowd control, and we are in the midst of a pandemic right now, so that makes sense as well too.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, all right, but we
I
want
just
to
wanted
give
to check.
what.
I just wanted to check the YouTube to make sure it was working, and it
And,
is.
and is it there, darling? Is
It
it
is
there?
here.
Yeah, we are all modern now, my dear.
I
so
am
so
so impressed with you. Look at you.
I know the Real Chat Daddy Show.
And people need
Well,
to go and subscribe to your channel.
yes, yes. Please go to the Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. Like the channel. The more you guys help me on YouTube as well as my other platforms, it'll help me in the long run to continue to keep doing this wonderful show for you guys each and every night. And hopefully, you all are loving it. More and more people are watching it. And what I'm learning is not so many views when the show first happens. It's the fact that you guys do go back and watch the show later on down the road. And I really do appreciate you guys for that. Well, Javonda Lynn, I don't want to be a wet blanket, but I must give the latest COVID numbers in the state of Illinois. I know I'm Debbie Downer. I'm the one like, well, here's the death notice. Well, in the state of Illinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker is predicting that COVID-19 peak will now not end in mid May, but maybe mid June. And Javonda Lynn, I had told you a while ago that I had talked to somebody that is very heavy into science and medicine. And they
Mhm.
told me when this all first happened that we would not see an end of this in the city of Chicago until possibly the end of June. And
Ugh.
so, look, I call this house arrest, even though the proper name is shutter in place.
Mhm.
I'm trying to. I wonder how much longer can we hold out? You know what I'm saying? Is what I'm wondering. And as we see more and more places opening back up, people getting back to normal, I'm wondering how much longer is Chicago going to be able to hold out. And it's going to be 80 degrees next Wednesday.
I know. I don't know. You said next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, boys and girls, but the following Wednesday, it's going to be 80 degrees in Chicago.
That is not gonna work. And you know what? More and more people are really out and about and at the stores. And my thing is, if people are not sick and they're social distancing and they have on their masks, what is the harm? We know if that people do go out and spread, but then if you don't know that you're asymptomatic, you could be out, spreading, spreading the germs and the virus. So I don't know, but I went to Home Depot and it was packed.
You did?
Yep,
Okay.
it was packed. It was.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
they had a line.
wow. I mean, people take their chances. They do what they want to do. My thing is to be safe than sorry. I must admit to you, I do get out of here now at least twice a week to just go do things that I need to do.
Mhm.
I'm just one of those people. The grocery delivery thing is not my thing. I need the exercise and the air. As I told you before, they're just basic services that I'd like to be able to get. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And that's the part that kind of aggravates me.
right. Well, Indiana is opening up, and so they had restaurants that are open, and so you know what's going to happen. People from Chicago are going to cross over and go and find a barber or a beautician, stylist, or a restaurant in Indiana. I go to Indiana to Costco.
Hmm.
It's not a restaurant. It's not getting my hair done, but I do go over there to shop.
Well, I'm so desperate to get this wolf pack off of my face that I would probably end up going to one of them places like you'd be like, remember Bo Rick's, the,
Uh-huh.
the $7 haircut place? I probably would go somewhere like that. Like, look, can y'all just get this werewolf off of my face? So I don't know, and you steady see on the news where people have on masks while they're in there. The barbers have on gloves and a mask, but I don't
Are you,
know.
are you afraid to go on YouTube and try, get some clippers and then go on YouTube? Because that's
Yes,
what everybody's doing. They're learning
yes.
how to take care of themselves.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do any of that. No, my hairline will be sitting back here. So no, let I need the eye of somebody else to do all of that. We'll talk offline about why that is. But
Oh,
yeah, no, there's no way in the world I'd be able to do any of that. And that's why I do try to, I don't care what the situation is, keep enough money for my grooming essential
I understand.
people. Yeah,
Well,
that's how that works.
yesterday my daughter did my hair, so I have a new my yes,
Oh,
yes. I was like,
oh.
oh, but she has some extra skills. I
That's
knew
your
she could.
mother's day hair.
Yes, yes. And I said, well, this is great because I remember I was bragging about, oh, I get my hair done right before we went on lockdown, right?
Right.
8 weeks came around. I was like, it is time to get my hair done. So she
Uh-huh.
was able to do it in the same amount of time my regular person does. I said, well, maybe I'll just pay my daughter. Then I don't
Right,
have to go
right,
to anybody's shop and wait and sit. So
right.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
not bragging, but I told you when I'm going out, whenever I go out, I don't know who I'm gonna meet, and he may be just at Home Depot, so I need to
that's
look
right.
cute at all
That's right.
times.
That's right. Well, look, that's the same reason why I can't cut all this wolf pack off of my face. So, yes, amen. Yeah, I'll tell you all about that later. Well, let me give you guys the latest updates. The state officials on Monday reported that 54 additional deaths have happened in the state of Illinois, bringing the total to 3,459 deaths statewide since the pandemic started earlier this year. There were also 1,266 new cases of COVID 19 reported on Monday, pushing the statewide total of cases to 79,007. And so the numbers are steady rising. Keep in mind that the U.S. Coronavirus death toll is 80,000 people, and a lot of the states, as we said, are working towards getting back open and doing what they need to do. So I don't know. Are we still fearful or what? You know?
So let me ask you this. The number 54 seemed low. I mean, any death is one too many, but the number 54 seemed low. So that seemed like it went down. I don't know if they said it that way, but the daily death, I thought that number was low. Now the number
Well,
positive is probably going to rise because they're testing more people.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. Here's the deal. When the death numbers start to dwindle, of course, they're dismembering McCormick Place. They did not need that place as big as they thought they were going to need it. So they're in the process of scaling that down quite a bit. 54 deaths. I hate to say it, is really good news compared to what
Mhm.
we've been hearing, but we've got to at least have 14 days of numbers that are not exaggerated one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So 54 is a start. So I don't know, but our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who has lost a family member to COVID 19. For all of you all that have been diagnosed with COVID 19, we ask that you take care of yourselves, do the right things. I had an interesting conversation Saturday night with a potential suitor, and the potential suitor and I was saying that before we would, get together and hang out with each other, that we felt as if we both should go get all of the tests. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Not only the bedroom test, but the COVID test. And I said, we've been talking about this, Javonda Lynn. Is that the new normal now? That mama need to know what you got, how you got it, and
mm,
when you got it. So I don't know.
I don't know either. That test looks painful. And you get think about it. You could get a test today. Like they said that Mike Pence's press secretary got tested one day was negative and the next day was positive. So to be honest, I just can't see wasting those kind of resources regularly every day. You're dating somebody or you're trying to get to know them, and every day you got to get tested. So you know what I bought? I told you for my business, I was buying one of those thermometers, and you put it across the forehead, and you look to see if the person has a temperature. Am I going to do that? As I meet a guy, I don't know if I'm gonna go to those extremes, to be honest with you. But I don't
Well,
think I'm gonna be tested every day or have. I'm not gonna do all that.
make sure you send me the information so I can get me that thermometer thing. Cause I mean, because
Yeah, and that
I'm like
thermometer
you.
and the thermometer was $100.
Oh Lord, you got to be kidding
Lord.
me.
But
Oh Lord.
it's a business expense, it's a tax write-off, but I had to buy it. I mean, now they may
Oh
have some other,
Lord.
but $100, that's a lot to put into dating.
Right, that really is when you think about it. But I mean, here's the deal: if you really want to know what's going on with a person and whether they are positive or not, I don't know. But I just,
Right.
we are living in just what I consider really weird times in this day and age. So
Yep.
we'll leave it at that. All right, so let's continue on. Over the weekend, we suffered a lot of deaths in the entertainment world,
We did.
one death after another. I actually had the honor and pleasure of meeting two of the people who have passed away. I want to start off first with the first death that happened over the weekend. R&B music executive and the founder of Uptown Records, the man where Sean Puffy Combs got his start in the business. Mr. Andre Harrell died at the age of 59,
That was
and they were
huge.
saying, yeah, they were saying of heart failure. And I remember meeting Andre Harrell many years ago in New York City. And so just to know an incredible gentleman and such a true talent and a man that, introduced us to people that we have never, heard of. And all of these people have been turned into huge success now. It's just incredible to know that he died of heart failure like that, you know?
Yep, I agree. I was really shocked, and you don't want to. make a joke and say somebody needs to check on Sean Puffy Combs, but they really should because I think he was a mentor, father figure, all of that. He helped him become the professional he is today, and we all know that he discovered him. So, among other celebrities, so I'm certain he is just devastated.
Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine. It's really sad in many different ways. And then the next celebrity who passed away Saturday, and as I was getting the information about Andre Harrell's passing, I had heard, rumors, and a couple of people had sent me messages saying, "Hey, I think Little Richard has passed away." And
Hmm.
so I actually did a little more research, waited a few minutes, and I actually, saw something that had his death on there, how old his age was, and I said, "Oh my God, now Little Richard." As you guys all know, if you don't know, you've had to been living under a rock. Little Richard was the architect of rock and roll. He was the pioneer of flamboyant out there in the
Hmm.
50s. Little Richard was the man that had everybody dancing, jumping, having a good time. Good golly, Miss Molly, just a whole bunch of things. And Little Richard always was a class act. If you ever got a chance to see him perform, he always was, gave just an amazing show. But
Yeah,
going too soon at the age of 75. Isn't that something too?
that was it was. They said death comes in threes, but we had four this
We
time.
had four. That's right. Well, Little Richard actually died from bone cancer.
Oh,
And then next up on the list is singer Betty Wright, the soulful singer Betty Wright, one of Miami, Florida's home girls. She is a crowning jewel of Miami, Florida. She passed away from cancer as well too, and this was confirmed by the president of S Curve Records, who told the New York Times that Betty Wright had passed away. Her career started, like most people, in the church,
mm.
and she was 14 years old when she was first singing and
Oh,
recording, and that was back in 1968. She's a Grammy Award winner and a six-time nominee for her hit song "Clean Up Woman" and "Tonight Is the Night." So yeah, Betty
two
Wright, and then
classics.
yeah, and then last but not least, today we found out that comedian, funny man, and just great character actor, Mr. Jerry Stiller, passed
Mhm.
away. And as you guys all know, his son is actor and movie producer and director Ben Stiller. But Jerry, oh my God, we all remember him from Seinfeld. We remember
Mhm.
him from The Kings of Queens, and really a tiny little man with a lot of bite to him. So I don't know, Javon Lynn. All these deaths are just too dang on much for me. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a lot, and you the first thing you think about was it COVID related. If unless they do an autopsy, they really don't know. But they said some of the hospitals were just tagging deaths or identifying deaths as COVID. I was wondering about Andre Harrell, if that was the case, but you said it was heart failure, but it could have been as a result of something, a virus like COVID.
Right, right, right. It
Yeah, but
just makes you wonder. It, it
it's really sad.
yeah, it really makes you wonder.
Yep.
What else you got in the news, my friend?
Well, I was watching the governor's press conference. He never ceases to amaze me. We all get caught up in the sign language guy, and I know you're taking online sign language classes. Yeah,
I
and that guy
am.
is very animated, and I was just impressed that they were doing the Zoom or whatever they were using, and then he had the sign language guy like in the screen. So I don't know how they had it set up, but I was just kind of fascinated. And the reason I'm fascinated about technology is that I am finding and hearing more of us in our age group or older or even a little younger that are trying to figure out technology as a result of the pandemic. And I think the governor has a great team. In he has a great group of people on his team because we still could see the sign language person, which was really cool. So they did a good job today, but I guess they decided to do it that way because one of his staff members has tested positive. So they need to self quarantine. And then, of course, the question came up, and I believe someone asked it, or you asked it, or you shared it: where's the lieutenant governor? And I really believe she's been separated because of a succession plan if he got sick. I believe that's the answer.
Okay, because quite a few people have been wondering where is Juliana Stratton. I love and adore her, so
Mhm,
what we're talking about is not against her.
mhm,
It's that we're more concerned and worried about where is she and how come we've not seen anything. We, as we all know, as the mayor is calming and soothing the city, and the governor is calming and soothing the state. Juliana Stratton, for a certain demographic of people, she calms and soothes and reassures. And so quite a few of us had been wondering where is she during all of this. But I get what you're saying, that they're probably keeping her in quarantine just in case something happens to the
yeah,
governor.
and it makes sense, but
Interesting.
we don't see that with the president, and that should have been a lot of, military guys on CNN have said, they should not be together, the president and vice president. There's no succession plan. Well, we know what the succession plan is. It's Nancy Pelosi. She's number 3. So
Right,
let
right,
them both get sick. They don't want. We'll have our first female president.
right,
They
right,
probably
which
too
is
stupid
true.
to understand how the government works.
Right. Well, here's what gets me is that you steady telling people to protect themselves, do the right things, but yet have you all once put on a dang on mask? And to
Yeah.
me, that shows unity. I was over in Indiana Saturday, and I went into a place where I was the only person that had a mask on in the place. Okay, now
Mm.
they had the protective shields up. They had where you had to put your money in the slot, but I was like, oh, I just left out of a place, did not one damn person have a mask on. They were all of another color. But I just feel like lead by example. If you want us all to, help curb this, global pandemic by wearing a mask, then the president and vice president should have on one too.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really care. I think what the only thing he's focused on is let's get back out there and get the economy jump started. And I think for him, it's a control issue. He would never wear a mask because he thinks he's bigger than anything. That's what's really amazing. He's such an interesting case study. He would never wear a mask. Like he had on goggles for his eyes, and I'm like, but you didn't cover your mouth and your nose. And he's a germaphobe. That's what's really crazy. It's amazing. And then Pence didn't have one. And then they showed today, I guess it was a meeting with Pence and the food supply people or whatever, and they all had on masks. And then they took them off when the vice president came in. So did someone say he doesn't want you to wear a mask? I mean, it's mind boggling.
It really is. But now you're starting to see more and more people who are fighting over the fact that they do not want to wear masks in public places. And a lot of people are saying, is this an infringement of their rights? And should they, not be wearing masks? The one thing I will say, over in the hood, people got their mask on. You only see a couple of people that don't have them on, but it just makes me wonder what is really going on. Oh, you know what, Javonda Lynn? We
Mhm.
forgot to mention Roy from Sigfield, and Roy passed away.
Yes.
Yes, as well too. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Roy from Sigfield and Roy, and he was the one that was attacked by the 360-pound
Mhm.
lion. Ended up beating a lion attack and died from COVID. Lord Jesus.
I
So
know.
okay,
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about him.
Yes. So, all right, let's get back to this mask thing. Do you see us stop wearing these masks anytime soon?
No, I don't. And these masks are becoming even more interesting and cute and creative and all of that.
Okay,
So
good.
yeah, I don't think we will. And then they said in Asia, in China, people are still wearing masks. It's kind of a common thing, and it could be because they're used to the way they eat animals and the viruses. They're used to that. I don't know if that's the reason or what, but I think we're going to be wearing masks for a while.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys get masked up. No matter what it is you have to do to protect yourselves, we are still in the midst of something that is really unknown to us. We have been reminding you guys things that you need to do to keep yourself healthy and safe. I don't need to tell you guys about washing your hands, sanitize, keep your homes clean. I'm telling you, I wipe down so much and clean and do this and do that. I meant to do laundry today, and I was so busy that It just got away from me. But it is important that we keep ourselves as healthy and safe as possible, right?
Yep, and I wish people would understand why they shouldn't wear gloves in public. If you're pumping gas, wear the gloves, throw them away. But if you're in the store and you have on gloves, you're doing cross contamination. Everything you touch, you're moving whatever germs to the next. You're protecting your hands, but you're doing cross contamination. And then I saw for the first time where I saw gloves on the ground. I've been seeing it on the news. I was like, this is just nasty. People come out and they just throw gloves on the ground. So anyway,
Right.
just make sure, you know, wipe off the handle on the buggy, and when you they say when you get back in your car or whatever, put hand sanitizer on, and as soon as you get home, wash your hands. That's the best that you can do. But
It
wearing
is.
these gloves is just not the answer.
Well, Javonda Lynn, we actually have a viewer who is viewing us tonight from Bangkok, no, in Singapore. And Ginger says, "Hi, Art. I'm in Singapore, and if caught outside without a mask on, I'm fined $400."
Oh wow.
So that's something you guys need to look at. Look, and Booker T said, "Damn, $400."
$400, that's
Right,
a lot.
right, right, right.
Well,
But
we can't
again,
even stop people from having parties.
no,
Okay.
we can't. We
So we
cannot.
think that the police, who have a task in and of itself, just policing and stopping all the shootings, could even assess people $400.
Right. Just interesting in many ways. So I don't know. It's hopefully we can get all this resolved soon. What else you have in hot topics and news tonight? Anything else?
Yeah, no, that's I think that's it. It seemed like something else came up. Something else with Mike Pence. So what's interesting with Mike Pence's press secretary, she's married to Stephen Miller. Stephen
Mm-hmm.
Miller is a whole fool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a whole fool. He's the architect behind a lot of the president's immigration policies, a lot of the president's tweets, I believe, and I think he tweets on his own, but I think he's the one that's telling him to say this, say that, and just how you have somebody in your life that is really not good for you. They're egging you on, like the people at 315 that's standing there, hit her,
Right, right,
whatever.
right.
And that's
Yeah.
what so it's interesting that it's Stephen Miller's wife. And he's in quarantine, I'm sure. I don't know if he is or not, but they said that he probably would be um put in quarantine. But again, karma is something else. I always say karma is unforgiving, and I'm not wishing anything bad on him and his family, but all I have to say is karma is just unforgiving. That's it. And now it's hit the White House, so let's see if it runs rampant through there.
Well, it also has hit our governor's office here in the state of Illinois. Somebody who works behind the scenes, and when I say work behind the scenes, close proximity to
Hmm.
the governor has tested positive for COVID too. So here's the deal: this has hit every aspect of people's lives. So I don't know. It's just one of them things that we've really got to look more into what is going on and how do we continuously protect ourselves. Let me see. Ginger made another response about why it costs so much. She says that Singapore has strict laws. If you violate their laws, you'll be permanently banned from their country. And so if you walk around Singapore without a mask on, you guys, you will be fined $400. And well, here's the deal. If people don't want to follow the rules, start hitting them in the pocket. Because believe it or not, the mayor's office, the city has had to give people citations to these parties they've been hosting. And
Yeah,
that, and to me, that's crazy too. Like, what's the idea of all of that to begin with?
right. And then, oh, we lost you, Art.
I know. Wait a minute. I don't know what's going on. Boy, here we go. Am I still gone?
Yep, we don't
I
see.
am. What the world?
It's just me. I guess you got to log back in.
I don't know what happened. Oh boy. Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see.
Okay, well let me work on this and figure out what it is, but just keep talking. Javonda Lynn, we can bring in our next two guests and you can start talking to them while I try to
Okay.
figure this out.
All
All right,
right.
so the class of 2020 has a lot of wonderful triumphs and victories, and even though These young people were not able to celebrate in the manner in which they really wanted to celebrate in. Tonight, Javonda Lynn has assembled some amazing young people to talk about their life and what it's like to be a student of 2020 and how this is all working. And while she's talking to these amazing young people, hey y'all, congratulations.
Hello.
I know y'all
Thank
can't see
you.
me,
Hello.
but congratulations. I'm gonna figure out what's going on. Javonda Lynn, talk to him. Thanks.
Okay, so we're
Uh,
waiting on one other person, and she's the college graduate as well, and she'll probably come on closer to 8. So, Kendall, we're going to talk. I want you to stay on if you can. We're going to talk to Joshua Thornton and Dana Wilson for a little bit. And so, what I want you first to do is introduce yourselves to the audience. Tell them what high school you you just graduated from or graduating from, what your college plans are, anything you want to tell us about your future goals and all that good stuff. So we can start with Dana first.
Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Dana M. Wilson. I am a current senior at Kenwood Academy. I will be graduating on June 8th, 2020. I plan to attend North Carolina A&T State University. I plan to major in atmospheric sciences and meteorology with a minor in communications. And later, I plan to become a chief meteorologist, hopefully at Fox News, but wherever I land is where I'm going.
Okay, very good. And Dana, your mom, I think, mentioned you got how much in scholarship?
I have well over 850,000, close to a million. So we're in that range.
Wow. And how many schools?
I applied to 45 schools. Well, I got accepted into 45 schools.
Wow.
Yes.
So let me ask this quick question. And then we'll ask everybody the questions. Art is back on, so you all can see Art now.
hey, you guys,
Hi.
congratulations. Hey, I'm so proud of you all. I don't know what to do. Did you say you got $1 million in scholarships?
Yes.
Almost.
Close to $1 million.
Wow. So how did
Javonda Lynn, I thought you told me these kids were second chance program kids. You lied. You
no,
lied.
I the
These are
dream team. I got a
amazing
dream
young
team.
people. Yes, you do. Look, I digress. God bless you guys. Go ahead.
Okay, so Dana, before hold on a second, let me let Joshua introduce himself, and then we'll talk about. We'll let Kendall introduce himself since he's here early.
Okay.
And I'm back in control. All right, here we
Okay,
go.
all right, Joshua.
All right, hi. So I'm Joshua Thornton. I just recently graduated from De La Salle Institute
Yeah.
on 35th in Michigan, and I'm planning on attending NCAT as well, majoring in business finance. I actually received a full ride there, so that was a blessing.
Yes.
And I plan on being a portfolio manager when I get older in the stock market.
Yay.
Yes. See, Art.
Wow, that's amazing. That
Impressive.
is. I am so impressed.
All right. All right. And Joshua, how many other schools? You want to list some of your other schools?
Yeah, so I got in. So my top five was NCANT, Drake, Marquette, Georgetown, and Seton Hall. I actually ended up getting into all of them, and it was kind of between Georgetown and NCANT. But Georgetown is $80,000, and they weren't really giving a whole lot, and NCANT gave me the full ride. So I was
Yes.
like, okay.
A complete full ride. I am very proud of him as well. That's my godson, so I'm a little biased as well. I am just a
Yay.
tad bit biased. And Kendall is our college graduate, and I will let him introduce himself as well.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
We
Yes.
can, yes.
Okay, great. So, I just recently graduated from Tuskegee University over the weekend. I just received my bachelor's of science in supply chain management, and I'm going to be working for Procter and Gamble as a purchasing manager.
Excellent. Excellent. And Kendall, what high school did you go to here?
I graduated from Thornwood High School.
Very good. Very good. So, Art, as you can see, we do have a dream team. We're waiting on one more to come on. She'll come on close.
That's all right. I want to talk to this dream team because I think they are the most fascinating young people ever. I want to find out
We
what
can't see
makes you.
them. We can only see you.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me. I want to
Okay.
find out. Oh, there we go. I
Mhm.
want to find out what makes you guys so driven. What makes you want to succeed like this? We meet so many young people who, yeah, I went to school, yeah, I made the grades, but you guys are really moving at a rate that's incredible. And I'm gonna start with you first, Joshua. Can you tell me what makes you want to be so successful?
I would just say kind of like how my parents would just push me since from a young age, and like I see how they've been able to provide for me, kind of in that sense, and I want to be able to do the same for my family later on, and kind of just do the things that I like to do, and I like finance, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna push myself as far as I can to be as great as I can be.
I love it. I do. I'm gonna go to Dana next. Dana, what makes you do what you want to do? What makes you such so successful?
Okay, so what makes me so driven and so successful is that I always keep a motivated mind and a positive mind just to keep myself going. And also my parents as well. My parents have a big influence on what I do because just seeing them as an example, and my parents, they always, although they are very successful, they always say they want their kids to be better than them. So therefore, they always push me and help me support. And I have way too much support around me to not be successful and make something of this life. So therefore, that keeps me going day in and day out. And I know that I want to make a change in the world.
Wow. And Kendall, now that the road is over and you've done it all, what was your driving point? What drove you to be so successful?
So what drove me to be so successful was have a never stop, never settle type of mindset. Always constantly looking forward and being goal oriented and looking toward the future of what I need to accomplish, the goals that I set in the long term, and trying to break down those goals in the short term to actually achieve those.
Wow, incredible. I love it. Javonda Lynn, what else you gonna talk to these young people about? This is incredible.
Yes. So, we know that life was cut short as far as school. School life was cut short abruptly. I remember being in school. I can't imagine, senior year in high school, not being able to go on prom and graduate and see all my friends. Well, you graduate, but not see my friends in the last few months and have senioritis kick in and play pranks and stuff. And then, of course, Kendall being in college, senior week, we had, it was a whole host of things, especially the HBCU. You look forward to that. So, talk about what this has been or felt like when school had to abruptly end and what you miss most, and how you're feeling in this pandemic. And we can
Oh,
start with Joshua again.
Okay, so yeah, when we first heard that like we were on the lockdown, it was like, okay, we know this is bad, but we thought we'd be back in school, but now not being back in school is kind of like, wow, like those little interactions you have, even with the people you don't really communicate with at school, but that you're kind of like cool with, like those little jokes, you end up really missing that in like when you're thinking about it after, you're like, wow, like you're probably never going to see half these people again. And, just being stuck in the house, being able to work out, learn and stuff like that. But it's really just not the same as that physical experience when you're in school with the teachers, with your classmates. I feel like for most people, you learn better when you're in an actual physical class with people around you, the teacher physically trying to show you how to do everything. I feel like that really is important, and it kind of hurts, especially for the seniors.
I agree.
Hmm. Okay.
Dana?
okay. So for me, whew, it was rough when it first started because one, just like Joshua, I thought that we were gonna be back in school, and so I was looking forward to that. Especially for me, I've worked so hard, and I didn't want to come this far just to get this far. So I was really looking forward to my senior festivities, especially my senior speech because I do serve as senior class president at
Mm,
Kenwood Academy, and so I was really excited for that. Although I still will give my speech, it was very difficult to deal with, especially because like 2 months, well, in April, I dealt with the person that was really close to me. Their parent passed away because of COVID-19, and
mm.
so therefore, just dealing with that, it took a toll on me as well because we're so close. Um, and then like just having that motivation, just like he was stating, it's hard to learn when you're not in the classroom because you're at home. So therefore, you have that time to waste and things like that. I like to learn in the classroom. That's just the kind of person that I am, and so it was hard. But finally, I caught up. Honestly, even though it is coming to near the end, I am happy that I was in a stable place before we left to where my grades were not like dropping because of everything that was going on. Although my teachers are understanding, it was really hard, but I got through it and I'm happy. I'm almost at the finish line. I basically am at the finish line, but I'm close to it. So it's
Okay.
Wow.
okay.
I
Makes me feel
love it.
sad because we didn't get that experience, but I know that something better will come out of this.
Okay.
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 I love it.
And Kendall, what was it like for you, kind of abruptly ending, and what were you missing?
So what was it like for me? I knew everything was going on. Everything was shutting down, and I knew it was only a matter of time that Tuskegee University was going to follow suit, especially with other universities nearby. It was also closing down. So for me, because I knew that this was going to happen, what I need to do was make sure that number one, I make sure that I'm safe,
Mhm.
um, everybody else around me is safe, and making sure that I make sure that I have all my assignments and everything academically, done on time and prepared. Second thing was that just trying to enjoy the time that I did have before the shutdown was going to happen. With this shutdown happening, it made me realize that I didn't get to have a senior week. I didn't get to have a spring concert. That's okay because at the end of the day, this is all out of our control, and
Mhm.
it really is going to make us realize that the time we had when we were out there is the time we should cherish when we get back out there. So
Mm. The one thing that I'll say about these young people, Javonda Lynn, Kendall, great job. All of you all, I'm just so impressed, is that these young people have seen what adversity looks like. And these young people have grown up in a time period where it's do or die. And so I really I commend them because I think, when you and I were young, we were spoiled and you had to do prom, you had to this, you had your parents spent $1 million. These young people are continuing their education and not complaining. And I just think that's the most beautiful thing ever. Really, it is.
Well, I know prom may mean something different to girls than it does to young men. And so, Joshua, I don't know. How do you feel about missing prom? I know Dane, I don't want to say I know what Dana's answer is, but I want her to tell me in a minute. But Joshua, how do you feel about missing prom? I was looking forward to, the prom showcase and all that good stuff.
Ah, see there? I knew that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I'm like, I mean, if it's gone, it's gone. I'm not like huge on it. Like it's like something that all seniors should have. You know what I mean? And like that kind of sucks. But in the end, that's one of the things lower on my totem pole. For me, the highest thing was graduation. Like I really wanted in-person graduation. That was key for me.
And one thing about De La Salle's graduation, my daughter graduated from there. One thing I love about the men's graduation is you all graduate in tuxedos and not cap and gowns. And it's such a
Right.
wonderful look. It's just you can't even describe to see these young men. So I pray that they do implement something going forward so that you all can have an in person. Dana, I saw you last year going to prom and you look simply beautiful. So you did have a prom experience, obviously, but how do you feel now about not being able to have a prom?
Well, actually, I was just explaining this with my friends, being that I just got off a call with 406 classmates. It's very hard to accept, but I'm still gonna make the best of it. So me and my friends, we've planned different ways just to embrace the prom scene still. So I do still plan to have a photo shoot, at least in my dress. I'm going to get fitted for my dress tomorrow and things like that. So it really makes me sad that I don't get that prom experience, but I did get it last year. And it's also like just seeing the good on it.
Hmm.
Like I'm still gonna make it happen some type of way, even if it's personal to me. So it's saddening, but you gotta make the best of it. At this point, it's just like for me, I'm really a person that just takes stuff and run with it. So therefore, boom, I don't get a prom. Just have to make some type of way to get it and run with it. There we go.
Okay. Okay, that's a good attitude to have. And Kendall, senior week, what would senior week had looked like? When Whitney gets on the call, she'll talk about what senior week would have looked like at Hampton, but what would it have looked like at Tuskegee?
So our senior week is really our SGA week, which is Student Government Association. That week is really for the students. It is also mainly for seniors because a lot of senior festivities go on. Those senior festivities would include a spring concert, pretty much like would be like a homecoming week, and we would have a in which there's a lot of parties and stuff like that. But it's really a time in which seniors will get together for one last time before the semester ends, and of course before graduation comes, and just try to celebrate our accomplishments that we've done for the past 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Wow, wow. I just can't believe it. Just all of this has just changed like that for these young people, you know? Well, Javonda Lynn, we have yet another amazing young person on the line with us tonight. Let's add this young person in and let's see who we have here. Oh, we have Whitney.
Hey,
You
Whitney.
want to introduce Whitney Javonda Lynn?
Yes, so this is another a good friend of mine's daughter. So I, of course, like I said, I know all these young people. Whitney is graduating. Well, she graduated yesterday on May 15th, unofficially from Hampton. Hampton has decided they're going to have their ceremony in September. And so Whitney can introduce herself. Whitney, tell us a little bit about you. I know you are at ESPN or a Roten Fellow. So tell them what your plans are, all that good stuff.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh,
So,
wait. Let me get to Whitney. I'm sorry. Control room is out. Okay. Hey, Whitney.
hi. So like Miss Lynn said, my name is Whitney Bronson. I did just graduate yesterday. So it's weird not saying I'm a senior, but I'm an alumna of Hampton University. And I was a journalism major with the area of emphasis in history. And I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So currently I'm looking at graduate schools and I've gotten into a few. So now I'm just looking to get some funding from those schools to finally decide where I'm going to go. And also, like Ms. Lynn said, I spent my last year at Hampton being a Roden Fellow with ESPN's The Undefeated. So that's essentially a year-long program where we get to interact with the staff of the undefeated.com. And I also went to the Super Bowl with them. So yeah.
Very good. All right. Oh, I love it.
Yes,
Yay.
Whitney,
This
all of
is
these young people
incredible.
are very accomplished. So Whitney,
Yeah.
your fellow peers here, you have one from Tuskegee, that's Kendall, and then Joshua is going to North Carolina A&T, and Dana's going to North Carolina A&T. So Whitney, what they actually talked about some of the things that they missed out on when school abruptly ended, and so what was senior week? What did it look like, and what are some things that you missed out on as a senior?
Okay, well, firstly, I want to apologize for being late. The reason I was late is because I was on the call for my fellowship. But for senior week, that would have been a really great week. So at Hampton, the seniors take their finals a week early. And then our senior week is that week before graduation Sunday, which was this past Sunday. So what did they had planned a champagne soiree. We would have gone to King's Dominion on Saturday. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive from Hampton, and it's an amusement park. So all of the seniors just get on a bus and go there to have fun. We would have had senior ball isn't during senior week, but we still most definitely missed it. It would have been a few weeks ago. So that was kind of upsetting for some people. We could have gotten hotel rooms and everything somewhere in Norfolk because we have it in Norfolk. And yeah, it's essentially kind of like a prom, but for seniors in college. And then we also have just like little things like we would have gone to a bowling alley or done laser tag and stuff during senior week. And the all white yacht party was something that a lot of people were looking forward to as well. So there was a whole week planned full of really fun activities where the seniors just get to, chill and calm down before we graduate. And then the best part about being a senior is we finally get to do Ogden Crossing. And essentially there's like a Hampton myth that if you step on a circle full of grass and it's like surrounded by flags of international students who have gone to Hampton. So if you step on that grass, you won't graduate on time or you won't graduate at all. So Saturday, as soon as it hits midnight, going into Saturday, all of the seniors just bombard the grass and we just like run across the grass and touch the grass because we haven't touched it for like 4 years. So we missed out on that too, which kind of sucks, but I most definitely know that come September, there are probably going to be a lot of people running on the grass.
Okay. Thank you, Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
So Art,
Okay.
I'm sorry, going back to you.
No, I'm impressed with each and every one of you. I know you all have not, our college graduates. They've declared their majors. They've graduated with these degrees. But this is such a talented group of young people that I see other things coming out of them. I see other talents and gifts and things like that. So even though you guys are trudging forward with these $1 million scholarships and these great grades, what do you like to do in your spare time? And I'm gonna start with Dana first. Dana, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Okay, in my spare time, I like to go window shopping. That's a really big thing for me. So the fact that these malls are closed is very personal to me. In my
See?
free time, I like to window shop. I like to hang out with my friends. That's very valuable to me, friends and family, because I'm such a family oriented person. Um, and then also like I like dancing. I dance, so that's something. There's a lot I do in my free time, but I enjoy my free time. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Kendall, brother, what do you want to do? You've gotten that degree from Tuskegee, but I know you probably want to do some other things. What is it?
So, what I like to do in my spare time is fitness. I always have a mindset of always being great physical shape, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I even had an organization at Tuskegee University called Power Start Fitness, in which I would spread awareness to different students and residents across the Tuskegee community to try to get them to live a healthy mindset or have a healthy mindset and be healthy physically and give them meal plans and stuff like that. So it's unfortunate that because of the coronavirus and everything being shut down, they closed the gyms. However, I'll try to stay home, stay in quarantine, and also have a healthy mindset that way.
All right. I see
I love
multiple streams of income. I love it.
Very good. Let's go to Joshua. Hey, sir, how are you? Wait, let's go back to him solo. What else you got up that sleeve of tricks?
So for me, I am one of the co-captains of our basketball team at De La Salle, so I like playing basketball in my free time. But kind of the major thing I'm doing right now is actually investing. When I turned 18, I opened up a Charles Schwab brokerage account, and so I just invest in the stock market. Kind of just trying. I like reading the news and kind of reading the analytics and data of whatever the market's doing, and so try to make some money off of that. And I like hanging out with my friends as well. Obviously, I've not been able to do that a whole lot as of recently, but those are about the three things that I like doing the most.
Very good. I'm so impressed. I don't know
I
what to do.
am too.
I'm such
So
a
proud.
slacker. I'm such a slacker. Let's see. What about Whitney? What Whitney? Come on now, round it on out, Whitney. What else you like to do? My God, y'all gonna make me cry.
Well, I most definitely enjoy hanging out with my friends. So it's been really hard not being able to see them. So there have been a lot of FaceTime calls. But in my spare time, I also enjoy writing. I try to journal a little bit every other day, every 2 days. And I've gotten a lot back into reading, thankfully. So I have a great list of books that I need to get out of the way and that I'm working on.
And Whitney, wait, hold on. Art, let me just mention this. Whitney's being shy. Who did
Go
you
right
just
ahead.
interview? A famous person's son is going to Hampton, among a lot of famous people. Their kids go to some of our schools. But who is the person that you just interviewed?
So I just interviewed Eris Brown, the son of NFL legend Jim Brown. So he's gonna go to Hampton and play lacrosse, and he was such a joy to talk to. Very down to earth kid. He was really really nice. So it was great interviewing him and seeing what he has planned for his future.
Oh, I love it. I do. I think that's the most amazing thing. Javonda Lynn, you did find me some amazing young people. Now
Amazing.
you really did. Continue with your questioning of them. People
So
are leaving comments.
okay, good, good. Yeah, they are very impressive. I've known Whitney with through her mom. You know, obviously we went to Hampton together, and obviously Josh was my godson, and I know Dana and Kendall through their moms because they're sorors of mine. But what I want to ask my two my college graduates, right? What advice would you give Joshua and Dana as they get ready to enter college about keeping up with their grades, anything and everything? So we'll start with Kendall. What would you get? And then, of course, I made sure we had a male and female for both high school and college. That was intentional. Kendall, when you're giving advice, I also want you to be specific too to Joshua, and the same thing for you, Whitney, with Dana, but also make it general in your comments. So Kendall, go first.
Okay, so for me, advice that I would give to both Joshua and Dana is that you should always prioritize, what comes important. That's what you should always prioritize what's important. Always know why you're there. You should also know, where you come from, being from, great families that, raised you and be in the position that you guys are in. You should remember, you know, what the lessons you learned while you're in high school, because you're definitely going to learn a lot of lessons in college. And it's okay to make mistakes while you're in college, because college is really a learning environment, not just in the classroom, but also outside the classroom. So always being open, having an open mindset, prioritizing your time, knowing who's really there for you. That's a big lesson that I would like to emphasize on, because a lot of people who actually attend college, some of them are not there for the right reasons, and really just having fun. 4 years go by really quick. I know I can just speak for me. My 4 years of college are quicker than my 4 years of high school. So you really will want to value the time that you have.
Wow.
You really will want to value the time that you have in college, because it's really a life changing. It's really a life changing 4 years.
Good. Any specific information? I mean, advice you want to give Joshua as a male and a black male?
Yes. So specifically talking to Joshua, um, when you're going to college, it's important for you to realize who you really are. You may not know who you fully are now, or you probably do, but going into a new environment, especially going to Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where North Carolina A&T is, you really want to know who you are, because it's a different environment out there, and really just value yourself, value the people that support you, that surround you, and also, remember, like I said before, remember why you're there. Because if you have that mindset, whatever you want to do, even if you change your major, you decide you want to do something else, you will be successful.
All right.
I
Okay,
love it.
Whitney,
I do. I do. Hold on
advice.
1 second. We got some great feedback real
Okay.
quick. Let me put it up here on the screen. You guys ought to be so impressed with yourselves. This feedback is amazing. It's Pepper Miller says, amazing young people. There are many, many more like them. We should use this experience to tell ourselves a new story about our young Black people. Many, like the ones here, are driven, educated, and care about the Black community. And I could not agree more. That's why I'm so proud to meet these young people tonight. All right, who we going to next?
Whitney. Whitney,
We
give
going
some
to my
advice.
girl Whitney. All right, Whitney, here we go. Go on and give your advice, girl. We ready.
Okay. Honestly, I could write a book, but I'm not gonna do that. So, um, first, I want to say, always remember that you are there for your degree. If you let anything, sidetrack you from that one primary goal, just try not to at the end of the day, because you're paying. This school is not free unless you go to a public school in high school, but you're literally paying to get a degree and nothing else. But with that said, don't be afraid to go out and make connections and be social, because you never know who you could be going to school with. You could be going to school with, the next CEO of Amazon or something like that, because, that's just how great our people are. So, go out and be social. Don't stay in your room and watch Netflix all day. I did have my moments, but going to Hampton has most definitely helped me become more social, and I'm very grateful for that, because I've been able to meet more people going out to different events. Um, and another piece of advice I would say is, not everybody is raised the same as you. So try to keep that in mind when you're watching how other people interact, because I mean, it can be shocking, to be completely honest, and it's most definitely changed my perspective in how I treat the people around me and the people who are closest to me. And then take time to do the things that you never thought that you would do. This past year, I actually participated in a pageant at Hampton, and I never thought that I would ever do that in my life. And I had a lot of fun doing it, and I gained 7 sisters doing that pageant, and it was just so much fun. So, yeah, to do things that you never thought that you would do. And honestly, the last thing I would say is sometimes you have to embrace certain hardships. Um, my 4 years at Hampton most definitely haven't been easy, but if it hadn't have been for those hard times, I wouldn't have grown into the person who I am today. And at the end of the day, I'm very, very grateful for the experience. And I don't think if I went anywhere else, I would be the person I am today.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is
So
so
I know.
impressive.
Thank
Nice.
you. So
We're
one
having some audio issues, Javonda. Somebody's mic is rustling a little bit, but otherwise, this is a beautiful. People are loving this conversation.
okay.
All right, so that's a little bit better. Everybody, check your mic. All right, continue on, Javonda.
So Kendall, I know, had some outstanding internships in the summer. He really didn't come home. I know he was in Connecticut, and so what I want you and Whitney to talk about to help Joshua and Dana as they get ready to go to college, how to seize opportunities on these campuses. Because I think some of the myth a lot of times with our HBCUs is that our kids are behind. These companies don't really come on our campus. And I know that's not the truth. And you all, I mean, I've been out of school 32 years, but I stay very connected to students. So I know that Kendall has had some awesome internships. Whitney did as well. You see, I keep up and know what all of y'all are doing. So, Kendall, could you talk about what you did every summer, in Connecticut or wherever you
Thank you. So I actually interned for United Technologies Pratt and Whitney, which is a military and commercial engine manufacturer. We sell our engines to customers such as Boeing and Airbus on the commercial side, and on the military side, we sell to Lockheed and other military privately owned companies.
and how did you get that internship? What happened?
So I got that internship through Inroads. Inroads is a nonprofit organization in which they actually help minorities to achieve internships and achieve full-time jobs with really good pay. And without Inroads, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity. I joined Inroads back in high school, back in 2013 when I was a freshman in high school. And joining Inroads has really, helped me try to gain not just opportunities for jobs and stuff like that, but also leadership development. Inroads has really helped me strive as a leader, and that's something I really appreciate that Inroads has done for me.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember Inroads. My brother was in that in high school. Um, and Whitney, you had a couple of internships, I know. And then how did you get your Roden fellowship?
So I didn't get my first internship until second semester, my junior year. So I interned at Max Media, which is a radio station in Virginia Beach, and they have several different stations. But I mainly interned with ESPN 94.1 down there in Virginia Beach with the Nick Cattle show. So that was really because of the connections that I made with the radio station on Hampton University's campus. So my advice for getting internships mainly is to get involved in extracurricular activities on your campus, because it helps you create content that you can, put on a website if you build a website, or that you could put on your resume. I've been the student operations director at Smooth 88.1 WHOV since my junior year. So because of that, I commentated women's basketball games, men's basketball games, and football games at Hampton, and those games will be broadcast on the iHeartRadio app. And the gentleman that I commentated with, he works at ESPN 94.1. So he told me that they have an internship program, and I applied for it, and then I got it. So I did that the second semester of my junior year. And then the summer after my junior year, I interned with the National Park Service, and I was at Cuyahoga Valley National Park in Ohio. So with that one, That's through an HBCU program specifically. So they're looking for HBCU students who are interested, in nature and conservation and stuff like that, which I'm not necessarily interested in. But for my program at Hampton, I have to have an internship in order to graduate. So I just decided to continue applying for internships and not get dejected by rejection letters, because I can't tell you how many times I've applied for internships with ESPN or Disney or whoever. Don't let those rejection letters get you down. Just you see it, keep on moving. Just continue applying some more because you'll eventually get an opportunity. So I interned with them for a summer and it was really great because it honestly helped me being outside and being in nature. It really helped me kind of get my mental health together and just get more healthy in general, mentally and physically. So then the summer after, or the school year after that, that's when I had applied to the Rodent Fellowship. So I applied for it actually while I was interning at the national park. And the thing with that fellowship is actually I had applied for it my sophomore year. And my sophomore year, to be completely honest, I wasn't ready to take on an internship of that caliber. But it was a sports internship. I'm interested in sports, so I decided to apply for it. I got to the interview phase, and I interviewed with the program's coordinator and everything. And I think the interview had went well, but they decided to go with someone else. So after that happened, Mr. Bill Roden, who the fellowship is named for, he came to Hampton at an event. And I went up to him and spoke to him, to see if he remembered me and everything. And he did. And we had a pretty good conversation. So when I interviewed for the program the second time, he he along with the coordinator, they both still remembered me, and I could just feel myself being extremely more confident. And that year I had taken advantage of the writing classes that I had taken at Hampton, so I was able to provide clips for them to read. And I think that they really took all of that into account, and I got the email saying that I got the fellowship. So that was really great. The Undefeated is an online platform that covers the intersection of race, sports, and culture. So, we are all, there are six of us. We all go to HBCUs because that's a requirement of the program. You have to be enrolled at an HBCU to do it. Interested in journalism, interested in sports, and we just cover everything that's going on our campuses. So, really just making sure that you stay in contact with people and just take advantage of certain events on your campus, because at Hampton, Disney comes to Hampton every single year. Um, at least once, but most definitely twice, maybe even three times. So a lot of these companies, they are coming to HBCU campuses because they need more diversity, and you have to take advantage of that. At North Carolina A&T, Chris Paul was just there. They just created an internship program for NCAT, well, not just for specifically NCAT students, but they created an internship program for HBCU students. And one of my counterparts, East Dockery, she attends North Carolina A&T. She wrote an article about Chris Paul coming to North Carolina A&T. So just really take advantage of those certain events, get people's contact information, and then keep on staying in contact with them so they remember you.
I love it. I do. I really, really do. Javonda Lynn,
Yes. So,
this has
Dana,
been amazing. Go ahead.
yes, and the good news is it's recorded, so people can go back and kind of share it with other young people. So, Joshua and Dana, if you could give advice to other young people that may be listening, or parents that may say, "Hey, sit down. I want you to hear this Facebook Live later on." What advice would you give young people in preparing for college? I know you have to sit down and apply for essays, and obviously everybody has to take the test, the ACT or SAT. Now, I'm not talking about that. Just how do you prepare with applying and keeping all that organized, and of course applying for scholarships?
We're going to start with the fabulous Miss Dana. Hold on. Here we
Okay.
go. All right. There you go. You in the spotlight.
Okay, so for me, I would advise all young people, especially my juniors. I always call them my juniors because these are people that are going to be in my position. So, to my juniors, I always say stay persistent. You will get a lot of no's, just as Whitney just talked about, but take one no as another yes. That happened to me a lot. Stay persistent with those scholarships. I promise it's going to work out in the end. You just have to stay committed. That's one thing that I've noticed about myself. And my position at North Carolina A&T, I did not get the full ride like Joshua got, but with outside scholarships, I am staying persistent, and hopefully I can cover. Well, I have hope that I will cover the cost that I need to go there. So therefore, really stay committed. Don't take a no. For me, when I first applied to North Carolina A&T, I did not get accepted, and I was like so confused. But I promise, the persistence was what got me in because I called them. I called them right after I seen the decision to ask what did I do wrong, what could change it. I called them almost every single day, and I'm pretty sure that the person on the undergraduate admissions office, she remembered me because I called so much to ask what could I do. And I didn't start off with a preference of where I wanted to go, but as like senior year went on, I kind of really like got into North Carolina A&T because one, they are one of the only HBCUs that have a meteorology program. My major is very, there's not a lot of schools that have it and not a lot of schools that offer it. But then I started to become an HBCU fan, so I looked into the schools that have my major. Make sure that you look for the schools that have your major, what you're interested in. Find what you are interested in. Do not wait till the last minute. Although some people do say undecided is okay, it is okay. But try to find what you are interested in at least to go into college because a lot of scholarships depend on that. But besides that, the undergraduate admissions, they remembered me because I called so much. And so therefore they gave me a re-decision. And that re-decision was a yes. Remember, I told you one no is another yes. So always stay persistent, stay committed, and you will do it. Know that it will happen. What's meant for you will be for you. That's really what kept me going throughout this process. Honestly, with the SAT, my test score was not ideal. Like me, I am a very high excelling student when it comes to school, but those tests, standardized tests, always take me under. I cannot do it. I don't know what is wrong, but I just don't do it. So therefore, I just stay committed. I stuck with what was going to be for me was going to be for me, and North Carolina A&T is for me. All the scholarships that I've been winning as of late are for me. I have to like you really have to trust the process with this. That's my biggest. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. Trust the process. The process will be okay. It may take a while. It will get stressful, but understand that what's for you will be for you, and trust the process. That's all.
And I can
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, I can remember when Dana, when I first met her, and she said, "I want to be a meteorologist." I was like, "All right," and she's still talking about it to this day. I'm just so happy. We're gonna see her on some TV, maybe not Fox. I heard her say Fox earlier. Okay,
Wait. Let me take a break for the call so I can show Dana that I'm an anchor. Let me show and deal with that's our next guest. So coming up on the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, right here via Facebook Live, now YouTube. Tomorrow night, we'll talk to parents of 2020 graduates and some of the highs and lows that they've had to go through to talk to their young people about not being able to graduate, not being able to have a celebration, prom, all of that. And then we're also going to talk to a lady who runs an organization that mentors high school students and gets them ready for college, and how she has now had to change all of her focus from in person to online. So we're going to continue to celebrate the class of 2020 tomorrow night. Yay! By talking to parents and mentor who has been focusing on our young people. Right now on the show, we're talking to young people who are members of the class of 2020. We have two college graduates, yay! We have two high school graduates, yay! And these young people are absolutely amazing. I can't believe I'm actually talking to young people, but I look at how young they look and I say, oh yeah, these young people, because otherwise they all sound like Rhodes Scholars, and we're very proud of them. And we want to give you guys a big round of applause for just doing the doggone thing. And congratulations. All right. Yay. See, I had to do this. So next, look, now we'll go to weather. with Dana. Yay!
So
So
Josh,
that's when you do weather. All right,
that's
so go
right,
ahead,
that's
brother
right.
Joshua.
So Joshua, what advice would you give young people as they are preparing as for senior year and college admissions and all that stuff, and balancing what you all
So
had to balance? Hmm.
yeah, I had a lot as well, and I'm gonna say it starts from freshman year because you really truly can't slack off your freshman year, because your freshman year sets your grades for all next 3 years that you're going to be in high school, and colleges are looking to see a progression of how you've kind of evolved in the sense from freshman year to senior year, and so that I'm gonna say it starts off from freshman year, but in the sense that kind of what you should be doing as like juniors, sophomores. I mean, you just want to apply yourself in as many possible chances that you can. So clubs, just connections. Because I'm learning right now, connections are truly key, and sometimes that can trump grades and
Hmm.
SAT scores and whatnot when you're
Hmm.
trying to get into certain colleges. And so I was actually blessed because I had basketball. Basketball season was kind of during the college process, so I wouldn't be getting home until very late most nights, and my mom was able to help me a lot with kind of applying and doing different things like that. So that obviously helped. But one thing we probably could have done better is noticing schools and noticing kind of if they give scholarship money a lot and what's required for scholarship money. I'm going to give one example of how, so Georgetown was kind of like my dream school. And I did not think I was going to get into Georgetown, but somehow I did. But when you look at their finances, they don't give any type of scholarship money. You have to be need based, and we're not need based. And if I could have looked at that earlier, maybe I could have realized that and applied to a different school, maybe something like that. But so I'm saying, like, truly do your research, do the research that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And I do agree in the sense that everything happens for a reason. So if you can't go somewhere, everything happens for a reason. And in the end, you're going to better yourself and go through the path you're supposed to go down.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. Art, you have any questions for him?
No, I'm so impressed. Look, if I was the HR director, I'd give them all a job and a bonus.
I
I
agree.
would. I just would, because no, they're all amazing young people. I'm very proud of everything that they've accomplished. You know what? I go back to this every time to meet young people this grounded. There has to be some sense of spirituality somewhere in their household, somewhere in their being, in their spirit, because as I said before, I've met a lot of smart young people, but eventually they allow the streets to take them over and they lose their focus. So I'd be curious to know, was it the family that kept them grounded? Is it, the church? Who keeps these young people so grounded? Who wants to start first? I
I
think
can.
Whitney. Okay,
Oh,
is that Whitney?
That's Dana.
Oh, Dana. Okay, come on, Dana. What keeps you so grounded?
okay. So for me, what keeps me grounded is honestly knowing that I have a goal. Also, I would say spiritually, it's like my family, but also myself. I'm really hard on myself because I know who I want to be, and I know that I need to be successful. Like it's always a need for me. That's really what it is. Always knowing that being successful and being someone is a need for you. So really that's for me. My parents, like I said in the beginning, they always support me and they always push me. I have too much support to not be someone. So therefore the people around me push me a lot, but it's really myself. Because anyone can have someone egging them on and motivating them, but it really has to start with you. So therefore just, gotta have it in yourself. So that's for me.
I love it. Now, Dana, guess what?
Yeah.
Somebody sent a comment and said, "Can Dana show some of her weather skills?" So I'm gonna toss to you, Dana, and say, coming up next in weather is our girl Dana. Dana, what's the weather gonna be like tomorrow?
Okay, so this is really on the spot.
Yes, I know that's right. Just give them the best forecast you can.
Okay, I'll give you the best forecast I can. So today it will be quite sunny outside. It will be 87 degrees for the high. The low will be 57, and it will be quite windy. So prepare your raincoats for today.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. You got it. Very good. I love it. Now back to you, Javon Deland.
um, Dana, I'm sorry. Next was Joshua. Were you gonna piggyback off of what Dana said? Go on. Hmm.
Sure. Yeah. So my dad is actually an assistant pastor at Victory Apostolic Church. So that's kind of
Oh,
the faith. Yeah, faith wise, that's kind of been rooted since I was a young child. And kind of yeah, I have my goal. I know what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do right now. Kind of when it comes to this investing piece, and so I just know what I want to do and just continue to better myself and be the best person I can and try to I guess help the world any way I can once I get to a certain point.
I
Okay.
love it. I do. I do.
Kendall, what keeps you rooted and grounded?
So what keeps me rooted and grounded is that at the end of the day, I know that I'm a young black man in America, and because I'm a young black man in America, I have a lot of, there's a lot of things that's pointed against me. So what I want to do, being from the South Side of Chicago, and we see in the media how they portray us, I want to be that, positive influence that be like, hey, not all black men are like this. I'm not like this. I went to college. I graduated in 4 years. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm going for my master's afterwards. And I want to actually, show that and be the light of everybody else and try
Hmm.
to bring up the people that come behind me and actually give them a boost and help them be great as well. Also, in addition to what I've just said, is that because I've got my bachelor's in supply chain management, in supply chain, we're taught to always have a continuous improvement mindset. And that's can be related to business or any kind of
Hmm.
business. So I use this for me, and I have the mindset of always having a continuous improvement mindset in order to actually become even better than I was the day before. I could say, yes, we did great on this exam, but how can we do better on this next exam? Or yes, we did great at this charity event, but how can we make it better for other people and the people that's definitely in need? So that's what stays me grounded, help me stay grounded.
Wow. Incredible.
All right, Whitney, what keeps you grounded and rooted?
Um, well, I talk to my mom a lot. I have a really good relationship with my mom and other family members. I have a really great support system in my family, and I know that any given time, I'm feeling upset or down or about something, I can talk to them. And really, the friendships that I've made at Hampton, I can, text or call any of the people who I've created friendships with there as well. And they always know what the right things to say to encourage me and to lift me back up. And yeah, that's really about it. I've gotten into trying to read the Bible a lot more. I do the Bible plans on the Bible app and everything. So I've really grown in my spirituality since going to Hampton. And that's really helped me a lot. And then like I mentioned earlier with journaling, sometimes when I feel that things can get to be too much and there are too many emotions that are going on in my body, I just write them all out in a journal, and it really just helps me come back down, and just remember why I'm here, and I just know that God has me, and whatever His plan is for me is what I'm gonna follow.
God.
And so Art, you know what the common denominator is for all of these young people, obviously, because I know them and I can say this, is that they have very strong family support, and not just family support, but aunties and uncles and play aunts and play uncles, and that is a key too. And sometimes you may think we're bothersome and we're always in your face and we're being pests, but all of this is just really to keep pushing you throughout life and all the goals that you have planned for yourself. I know as you're winding down, Art, with your show, I'm just so impressed. I know their stories, but I'm just uber excited tonight because they were all on time. Other than Whitney had, another engagement I knew about. I bugged them to death about, this process, and I'm just so happy and proud that they've represented themselves and their families well. Because you remember growing up, they would say, "Look, don't go out the house and act a fool and embarrass your family." And we can honestly say that they have made their families proud and made me proud too. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming on tonight.
You guys have been nothing but the best. Matter of fact, you guys have gotten so many comments from my audience that is just incredible. I've been posting the comments up here. I just want to say to you guys, continue to do the right things in this world. Continue to be strong leaders. Continue to prove yourselves to be just as dynamic as you were tonight as you move in the future. And if there's anything I can do to help any of you, please don't hesitate to let me know because Javonda Lynn really did gather an impressive array of young people to talk to us tonight on the show. It's really an honor and a pleasure to know you guys.
Thank you. So that's
Thank you.
you all are
Thank
free
you.
to stay or free to go, but thank you so much, and I will be in touch with one more text afterwards. Okay, thank you.
Yay. Great job. Really. Let's give it up for our
Thank
class
you.
of 2020.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Y'all
Thank
did an
you.
excellent job. You really
Thank
did.
you.
All right. You guys have a great night and thanks again. All right. Boy,
Thank
this
you.
was
You
really
too.
good,
You
Javonda Lynn.
too.
All
Thank
right.
You too.
you.
Thank you. Boy, what a surprise. What a treat. This all worked out really well tonight.
Good, good. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
that and there's so many others. I could have had a whole nother round of young people on that are just doing amazing things and can get, can pour into the next generation. When they say, young people will lead us, I am confident that some young people, not everybody, we got to get the rest of them and pull them along too.
Mm,
But they were
mm,
just phenomenal. They were phenomenal.
And I think that's what everybody is saying with all of these comments that are being posted and being said on all of my various pages. That, it's so many young people out here doing the doggone thing. And I always want to provide a platform where these young people can really shine and be who they need to be. And I just think this is so wonderful because every time you turn on the news, it's a negative story about
Right.
our young people. Tonight, this was a story of positivity, upliftment, and hope out of our young black people. And I just think it's so incredible. Great job, Javonda Lynn.
You. And if I could just say 18 years
Sure.
old, opening up a brokerage account and investing. I'm like, my godson is gonna be helping take care of me when I get older. He gonna be a billionaire. I mean, it was just so impressive to hear what they're doing. And then just to hear that Dana, she didn't get in to her school of choice the first time, but she was persistent. And then to say, I got into 45 schools and how this one school didn't pick her. And then she gets $900,000 in scholarships from all of these schools. I mean, and then Joshua gets a complete full ride and an extra full ride. I mean, he had extra stuff that was thrown into it. And it's just amazing. And then, like I said, Whitney, when I remember when she got that fellowship, ESPN, and then Kendall hearing about him every summer, going to Connecticut and just, doing the doggone thing. So, the other thing that I will say, and you know how I feel about HBCUs, and I could get on a rant and talk for a whole show about it. Sometimes our schools, not even sometimes, a lot of times, get a bad rap. They really do. And the reality is that I know my friends are doing very well. I've been out 32 years and they produce, the schools produce greatness. The problem is we don't have enough money for our kids to stay. So they come, they drop in and out. So you hear about graduation rates being low. And it's really because the kids come in freshman year and may drop in and out, and they may graduate on the fifth year or the fourth year or the third, the sixth year, whatever. But I know every graduation I've been to, it's been well attended. So somebody graduate.
Nice.
Anyway, that's my rant about HBCUs, and these young people did it tonight. And thank you for allowing me to pull this together.
No, you did a great job because, matter of fact, we've had a couple of other people say we need to continue this kind of energy, continue acknowledging these young people. And even though, we have some young people that have good stories, we have some young people that have bad stories. On this show, we are encouraging nothing but good and positive stories because, as all of these young people said tonight, you make a difference on how you want to live your life. No matter what the circumstance and situation, you make a difference on how you want to live your life. Well, no, you did an excellent job tonight. You really did.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of each and every one of these young people and the work that you did tonight. Well, honey, I'm tired. I am. I look. They made me feel like a slacker. They look when the girl said $1 million in scholarships. When you and I were trying to go to school, we was lucky if we got a few $1,000s.
Maybe student loans, and I proudly had student loans because
Do
they
you
helped me get through
understand?
school so I didn't have to work. So,
Right.
for me, it worked. But I'm just so proud. I remember when she mentioned she wanted to be a meteorologist. Maxine was her mentor years ago, just, the two young people. And I remember her saying, I want to be a meteorologist. I was like, I've never met a meteorologist I know we see him on TV, but
Right.
this is a young person. I can see her growing into that. So
Hmm.
it's amazing. I'm excited. And they did the
It
mama
is.
thing. They really did.
All right. Well, I love it. I do. I think it's been a great show tonight. You've done a good job. You can relax at this point. We didn't even thank our guest from Thursday night show. Any of that. Want to say hello. Thank you so very much to our very special guest on Thursday night. The incredible Miss Eaton Adele was here with us. Eaton Adele was talking about getting your mind right and you can pleasure yourself and have a good time and all that great stuff. And she did an outstanding job. And then we also had Mr. Jordan Banks, R&B singer, producer. He was here on Thursday night to sing a couple of songs for us, and he had a free concert that took place on Friday night that was on YouTube. And Jordan Banks, I've interviewed him many times, and he's just an amazing young man making a real difference. And he surprised us with two little live performances right here on the show. We have some other great people coming up on the show. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Don't forget that this show is now on YouTube at the Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. I need for you guys to go find my page on YouTube, like it, follow it, do all those great things. The more you help me with this, the bigger this show will be. And I'll be able to continue to do this show for you guys if you help me out now. Okay? With that being said, Javon DeLand, anything else, my dear?
No, that is it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, you know what time it is as our original sponsor of this show. Tell everybody how they can find you, follow you, all that great stuff.
Yes, so I am the safety security expert, JMD Defense LLC. My concealed carry classes are filling up for June, so you need to go on the website if you're interested because we will be open, I believe. JMDdefense.com is where you can find our schedule. We do have an online intro to firearms class that will take place tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. and it's only $30 and it's a good first step. So check me out. Thanks, Art.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for the great work you did tonight. All right. I want to remind you guys to please support my good friend, Javon DeLynn Donegan. Anytime you guys need to know about concealing carry and safety, she is JMD Defense right here in Chicago in the lovely Beverly neighborhood. For any other information, you can go to her website. We've come to the end of yet another great show. What a way to start the week off. We're
Yes.
celebrating the class of 2020. Tonight, we talked to two college graduates. We spoke to two high school graduates. And despite the fact that these young people have not been able to really celebrate and do what they needed to do this season, they've done some extraordinary things, and they are truly showing that they can shine no matter what. Please do me a favor. Go visit my website, therealchatdaddy.com. Again, that's therealchatdaddy.com. If you'd like to tip me for this show, it would be greatly appreciated. And I really do appreciate you guys who have been tipping. You can always tip me at Chat Daddy on Cash App. That's Chat Daddy on Cash App. I really appreciate you guys. You've been so generous and nice, and you are loving this show. And I love you guys for loving this show. Until tomorrow night, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy, stay all about love, happiness, and good energy. On behalf of Javon DeLand Donegan and myself, I just want to say good night. Congratulations, class of 2020. Y'all the bomb. We out. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.